my name is Ronald Griffin for artificialanimation.com, and in this tutorial I'll be taking you through how to install and personalize a custom Rainmeter and visual style in Windows 7. This should work in VISTA as well, so if you want to follow along with VISTA, that's fine. A little bit of a disclaimer: doing this will modify files in your operating system, and if you ever wish to revert the changes, there's a command in command prompt, and I'm sure you can search how to get command prompt up, and it's basically sfc space scan space / scan now, just like you see here, and that will basically verify all files on your Windows installation partition or in your Windows folders, and it'll download and replace any files that aren't the original files. So if you ever run into any problems during this is a command you can use to restore the original files. Along with that, this can potentially, if you do it wrong, it can potentially mess up files within your Windows installation, which is not something you typically are going to want. So you want to pay careful attention, and I'm not responsible if something ends up breaking. It really is a tweaking process, and it's not something you can just install and use right off the bat. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to download and install is a visual style. The visual style I'm using here is called Chill, and as you can see, it has some funky, basically square edges here, has some funky minimize and maximize and close buttons. Along with that, I'm using Rainmeter up here, which is telling me, it's linking me. I can click on this and it'll open my C drive. I can click on this and it'll open my Chrome, pictures, documents, movies, music, trash can, some core information, upload and download, memory, and the memory swap. It's Wednesday today. It's obviously nighttime, and it's October the 26th. So it basically tells me all that in a nutshell up top. And then down here we have custom icons and a custom start icon. And the rest is just a visual style. So the first thing you want to do is you want to look in the description of this video. The first link you should see in a row of links is this one right here. It takes you to Chill Visual Style, Windows 7 on deviantart.com. You want to click the download file button right here. I have downloaded everything I'm about to show you already, and I have extracted it, and so should you. So if we look on my desktop, this is the extracted file from that raw archive. So if we open Chill Visual Style, here we can see the included files and folders. So we have a little preview of what the theme looks like here, which you can see on DeviantArt as well. We have the universal theme patcher, which is what we'll be doing now. To use any custom visual style, which is what they call it, basically to use any custom skin for your Windows installation, you need to patch a couple of files within those Windows folders in order for that to work. So if we tried using one of these themes just straight away, it just wouldn't work. So basically this will require a restart of your computer, but open up the Universal Theme Patcher folder. And here we have Universal Theme Patcher 64 and 86. You might be thinking 86, well, that should be 32. 86 basically means 32. So if you're on a 32-bit operating system, x86. If you're on a 64-bit operating system, x64. You can check what operating system type you are on by going to Start, right-click Computer, Properties, and in here it'll basically tell you system type, 64-bit operating system or 32-bit, whatever it says there. So just remember, 32 is x86 and 64 is x64. So in my case, it's x64. Now, before we run this, we want to switch off UAC in Windows 7, which is User Account Control, and it basically limits us. While we turn this off, it will basically mean that our computer is slightly less secure, but it'll let us execute whatever we want to execute, and it'll let that program run. So make sure you are on your administrator account. This is very important. If you're not on your administrator account, you need to get on one. Otherwise, this might not work. So all you need to do to get to your user account control settings is open Control Panel. So Start, Control Panel, User Accounts and Family Safety, User Accounts, and then you'll basically be at this page here. And then you want to click Change User Account Control Settings, and you want to slide the slider all the way down to Never Notify. If this requires a restart, then do it. I'm not sure if it does, though. So here we are back in the Universal Theme Patcher folder, and you want to run your version. You right-click, Run as Administrator. And it'll ask me user interface language, ENU English, obviously. Windows 7 Ultimate Edition, 64-bit Service Pack 1. The OS needs to patch 3 files. I've already done this, and this is why I'm saying is 3 files has been patched. Nice English. 0 files need to patch. Basically, it'll tell you 3 files need to be patched if you've never done this. Press yes for detail, press no to exit program. You want to obviously hit yes. And here on this little window here, you just click patch, patch, patch. And once that's done, you close it, you restart your computer, and you hopefully end up back on this tutorial so you can continue what you're doing. So after you've done this, we can go ahead and install the visual style itself. So basically, go back into your chill visual style folder. And we want to install these 2 folders right here into our theme directory. So go to Start, Computer, and go to your C drive, or wherever Windows is installed on. And then you want to go to Windows, and then you want to scroll down to see Resources. Now I'm just going to hit R, and it'll take me to the R section. Resources, and then Themes. And here we have the theme folder. Now all we need to do is we need to take the chill, and we're going to drag these over. And of course I already have this installed, so it'll ask me to overwrite. It shouldn't do for you. And then we want to take chill 3D, go inside there and drag these over as well. And move and replace. Okay, so now we have the theme installed. All that's left for us to do now is to go and double click. I personally use chill 3D.theme. So you just double click that and it changes it. So there you go, it changed it to chill 3D, and basically it'll get its own background as well. So I'm just going to go along with this. Okay, so after we've installed the theme, we want to go ahead and basically replace some files that need to be replaced in order to get your setup looking like this. And that includes the taskbar over here on the right. All the icons that you see, they need to be basically done manually. So this can be quite a pain, but it is worth it. Like I said, this is not a quick install job. Go back to the page you saw earlier, and if you scroll down here a bit, you'll see that integration pack. And basically it's for SP1, so make sure that's installed as well. I forgot to mention that you need SP1 on Windows 7. This theme will probably not work on Vista, but any other theme that you find that works on Vista can be used in the same way this is being used. Just keep in mind that this one's probably only for Windows 7. Yep, Windows 7. Okay, so here we go. We're going to download the X64 integration pack, because obviously I'm on 64-bit. If you're on 32-bit, take that one. So download, and it'll take us out from DeviantArt to Mediafire. And I'm just going to download this. Your download is starting. Okay, and it's being downloaded, and since Mediafire is giving me crap speeds, I'm going to cut to when this is actually downloaded. Alright, so our chill integration pack has been done downloading, and we are ready to continue with the installation of our theme. So what you want to do is, obviously once you've downloaded it, extract it again, and here it is extracted. And in here you should see bonus, integration pack, and tools, and there'll be a readme. Obviously you can follow this, or you can follow this convenient video tutorial. Anyway, open up the integration pack folder, and you should see System32 and SysWow64. Obviously, if you're not on 64-bit operating system, actually, you know, I'm not quite sure. As long as you have the SysWow64 folder, I imagine you have to replace it anyway. So basically, that's mandatory to do. In the bonus, you have log off and on wallpaper. I didn't use this. I didn't use the start orb, and I didn't use the system properties. Actually, yes, I did use the system properties. So we'll go ahead and get back to that later. Anyways, what you want to be focusing on right now is inside tools. You'll see take ownership, and basically what you want to do is you want to double click on the add.reg, and what this will do is it'll ask if you want to continue. Click yes. What this will do is if you right click on a file, it'll basically be take ownership, and this is something we'll need to be doing when we're replacing all these files. So basically, let's continue now. Inside the integration pack, we're going to start with System32. So if we go down, let's look at this. And this is what your Control Delete and shutting down and start up will look like. So if we go to Start Computer, and we go to wherever your Windows is installed, C drive for me, you go ahead and browse into Windows, and then inside Windows you should see under the S section System32. So we'll start with actioncenter.dll, and I'm just going to hit A on my keyboard. It'll take me to the A section, and actioncenter.dll is right here. Right click, take ownership. And once that's done, you right click again, rename, and rename this to .old. And you see I've already done it, so I'll do it twice. And that means that we can move this new one right in there. That's done. And then next is auth UI. So we go to the bottom of the A's, and here's auth UI. So you again right click, take ownership, rename .old, and move the new one right in there. And you get the general picture on what to do here. Just repeat all of these steps for the System32 folder, and all of these files here, they all need to be replaced. And once you've done that, I'm basically going to cut ahead and finish all doing this, and you should too, and then I'll get back to you on how to do the syswow64 folder. Okay, so we've done the System32, and we're going to go into syswow64. So again, you need to be in your Windows folder and go to the S section, and here you can see syswow64. So in there, double click on your syswow64 in your integration pack as well. Here you will see another set of files, and I'm going to hit E for explorer frame, which is the first file we need to overwrite. So here you can see I've done it already, but right click, take ownership, rename to .old. Remember, there's two olds for me because I already done this, and then move the new one in. And you want to again repeat this for the rest of these files in this corresponding folder. All right, so I'm gonna finish doing this, and then I'll cut back to the video again. All right, so I'm finished with syswow64, and let's go ahead and pop in that that bonus system properties icon. So if you go into the bonus folder and system properties logo, and there's a little how-to, basically navigate to, okay, so we want to go to Windows branding shell BRD. So let's go into our Windows folder, and then Windows branding, and then shell BRD. And in here, you can see I've done it already. Right click, take ownership, rename .old, and move the new one in. And that's us done. Basically, you'll now want to restart your computer. And once you've restarted, everything should pretty much look different. So assuming you've restarted now and you're back on, and everything pretty much looks the same as mine, except you don't have the top bar and you don't have the start orb, which is what we're going to get to next. We're going to install our start orb. First, let's clean up a bit. We don't need the chill integration pack anymore. We don't need the chill visual style, and we don't need these two. That wasn't even part of the tutorial. Now we're left with Rainmeter and token and essential bar and the steel orb. So the next link you should see is for the steel orb, and it'll take you to a website, DeviantArt, and you'll want to download it, so download file here. Once you got it downloaded, this is what it'll look like after it's extracted. So basically, here we can see I've got SP1, so this is what I need to use. I need to use the SP1 folder. This is the previous version. Basically, if you have SP1, use this. If you don't, use these two files. So navigate into SP1 for my case, of course, and I am on 64-bit. So I'm going to use x64, of course. So explorer.exe here. Inside here, you'll see explorer.exe. And we want to replace this with the existing one. Now, this can be actually pretty tricky. Some users this will work, some users it won't. If it doesn't, I encourage you to go Google it. It's very simple, and it'll probably tell you a lot better than I can in the short time span of this tutorial. So basically how I did it was I went to Computer, went to C, Windows, and in Windows I pressed E a couple of times, and here we are, explorer.exe. And as you can see, I have a ton of these, okay, so right click and rename it. We don't need to take ownership here, and we're just gonna put .old, and yes to that, and then we'll drag our new Explorer right in there. I'm not going to do it because obviously I have the right version for me and don't want to mess anything up, but that's how you replace it. And you don't need to restart for this. All you need to do is right click on your taskbar, go to Start Task Manager, find Explorer.exe and End Process. Now go to File, New Task, and Explorer.exe. OK. And that's us done for the start orb. You should now see the start orb. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually install Rainmeter now. So we can go ahead and delete the start orb folder. And the next link obviously will be Rainmeter. So here you are, rainmeter.net. And want to go ahead and download the 2.1 release. If you're watching this sometime in the future, which you probably will be, because, well, I mean, obviously it'll accumulate views over time, but whatever's the stable release, I wouldn't really get the beta unless you know what you're doing, and if you do, you probably wouldn't be watching this. Okay, so download the stable release. So 2.1 is stable right now, and here's the setup that I got, and of course I already have it installed. In fact, I have it running, but for your convenience I will now close it and install it again if it'll let me. I agree. Standard installation, 64-bit for me. Again, check this and make sure it's the right one. Automatically start Rainmeter with Windows. Yes, for me. Can do whatever with whatever you want with that. But here's the destination folder. That's just me again. And it'll ask you to run Rainmeter, which is probably a wise thing to do. So I just ran Rainmeter, and obviously it won't look like this for the first time. It'll actually look very different. But we're going to basically get it configured to how you need now. So basically the next link you should look at is the Essential bar. It's a DeviantArt link again, and it's this bar up here. And Essential bar Revolution 2.5, you hit download file, and I already have it downloaded, so here it is, Essential bar. And what we want to do is we want to take this and install it into our Rainmeter skins. So preview, here's the preview, notes. Let's see here. Available sizes: 800 screen resolution, 1024, 1280, 1366, 1400, 1440, 1600, 1680, 1920, 2048, 2560. And basically what that means is if your monitor is 1920 by 1080, it'll work. If your monitor is 1680 by whatever, if your monitor is 1600 by whatever, it'll work. So it basically covers most resolutions out there. So we want to copy Essential bar folder to the skin folder. Enable bar that fits your monitor size. Okay, so basically what it's telling us to do is put it in our skins folder. So Start, Computer, C, and then Users, your username, and my username's admin. Convenient, I know. You double click your username, and then we're going to go to My Documents, and then search for Rainmeter. And in Rainmeter, you'll find skins. And I obviously have a bunch of crap here, but I'm not going to bore you with that. I will include a zipped up skin folder of all my skins. And basically all my skins is a bunch of different stuff. It has like a Google bar and a bunch of different stuff. But this isn't, that's a whole different other thing. So basically take your Essential bar here and drag it into the skins, and obviously I already have it installed again, so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to overwrite my configuration, but you drag it into the skins. So we can close that down, and now with your Rainmeter running, you can go to your taskbar, right click the Rainmeter icon, and basically you'll see here that the theme is probably, let's see, Illustra default. You're probably using that, I'm guessing. And basically what you want to do is you want to just close all of the things. I'm just going to load this so I can see what you're seeing. Okay, welcome to Rainmeter. That's useful. So basically, we want to just get rid of everything here. And if you right-click on it, and you go to Illustro, and what is this, network, and you basically go to network, and you click on the INI, it goes away. So basically, variants, feeds, right-click variants, welcome, right-click, right-click, variants, recycle bin, right-click, variants, Google, right-click, variants, to disk, right-click, variants, system, right-click, variants, clock. And there's probably some faster way to do this. I know there is, I just can't remember, so I'm trying to avoid looking stupid here. Okay, so right-click Rainmeter again, skins, and basically here you'll see your essential bar. So the first thing you want is the bar. So you go into bar. 1920 is my resolution. If you're not sure about your resolution, you can right-click screen resolution, and here it'll tell you 1920 right here. If yours is like 1680, you know, that'll tell you too. So back into Rainmeter, and skins, and essential bar, and 1920, and I'm just going to use the bar at the top. You can use the extender or the bottom bar, but I want mine at the top, so top. And here's my lovely bar. Now, I don't want it quite this dark, so I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to go to settings, and I'm going to go to transparency, and I'm going to make it 70% transparent. Or actually, that's a bit too much for my liking. Probably 80%. Oh, well, I'm going the wrong way. Stupid me. 40%, there we go. Perfect. And if you notice, if you click on it and drag it, you'll actually be able to drag it around with you. It's pretty inconvenient, and it's not something I would ever want. So you can fix that by right-clicking, settings, draggable, and that makes it non-draggable. And settings, and you can also save position, snapped edges, keep on screen, and you can mess with these settings yourself. You know, you're not in kindergarten, you can tweak this yourself. So essential bar again, you can just right click on the piece and then go to essential bar. I'm going to put some bandwidth meter on here, so bandwidth, and then bandwidth.ins. So there you can see I have a bandwidth meter, and it's a bit tricky getting the click spot, but it's somewhere around here. Basically, you just gotta, actually, you know, it's hidden behind, so essential bar, just gonna hide this real quick because it's a pain if I don't do it. So I'm just gonna put my bar back. And as you can see, the click spot for these small ones are actually horrible, but bar, 1920, top bar. And here we go, we're just gonna move this up here. So right click, go to settings, and click through. And then we'll bring that up. Okay, so now we're just going to continue loading some stuff. So essential bar, clock, AM to PM. There's two types of clocks. One's like a digital, one's an analog. So every time you make something new appear, it'll appear in the basically the corner here. So I'm just going to drag this over, and I'm going to load another plugin. Essential bar, clock. You know, I like this one better, so I'm just gonna. And like I've been complaining for the past 10 minutes, is really a pain to move around, but once you get it right, you don't really need to worry about it again. So again, go in here, CPU core 1. I'm gonna move this over if I can. And okay. You know what, I think I'm just going to do this and skip to the point where I've done it, because I think you get the idea here. So I'll be back in maybe, I don't know, half an hour. All right, so I'm back, and I've configured my bar sort of like it was in the demonstration. And so that gives you a general idea. I mean, I didn't really skip anything. All you need to do is load up the different types from the variants of the essential bar. So like GPU, you know, hard drive, internet, explorer, and that kind of stuff. You just need to load it up and move it into position. And I've also right-clicked on all of these and made them, or actually, no, I haven't. Basically, you can right-click on all of these and make them undraggable so that you don't accidentally, you know, bump into one and drag them. So settings and draggable. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the essential bar. And we can move on. Again, I will include in the description a pack of my skins and all of my themes that I use in my last tutorial, which had like a Google bar and a clock and some new stuff. So you can download that and you can see how that is. But just keep in mind that that's configured for a 1920 by 1200 monitor, and that's why I'm trying to teach you how to set this up, as opposed to just feeding you with a spoon. So let's move on to some icons. As you can see, I have some fancy icons down here. I'm going to just use an example. I'm going to drag this down into my icon bar, and you can see it obviously doesn't have a fancy icon. So the next thing we're going to download is called a token icon pack. So next link, token icon pack. You click download file and you extract it. And I have it right here. You can choose either dark icons or light icons. I'm going to go with light icons to suit my start orb. So you extract that and you just want to open the icon folder, and I'll show you real quick. It has .ico files, so .icon files, and it also has .png files, which can be found here. So what we want to do to assign an icon to a program is right click on the pinned application, right click again on the actual application instead of unpin, go to properties, and then right here it'll say change icon. You click on that and we can browse here, and what we'll do is we'll browse to our token light folder, and I recommend putting this in your pictures like I have done. I put them in my pictures. But of course you can put them anywhere. Just make sure you don't delete them, because then all your icons will go away. So I'm just going to assign it like, let's say, a random hard drive icon, and make sure you're using the .ico files for applications like this. Otherwise, it probably won't work. So OK, OK again, apply, and OK. Now, if some of your icons aren't showing up right, or something isn't looking the way it's supposed to be looking, which it probably will be because you have something that's called an icon cache, and the icon cache basically caches all of your icons on your computer. So half of your icons will probably be like black folder icons right now, and half of them will be completely screwed up. So what you want to do to fix that is actually go to DeviantArt, or I'm going to provide the link in the description, but I'm just going to search for it real quick. The link will be in the description. Okay, so I'm going to search for icon cache, and let's see which one it is. Here it is, and this will be again linked in the description. So extract the rebuild icon cache program to your desktop. And I already have it, as you can see, but I'm doing it again for convenience sake. Double click, and you want to click this button here. Or no, you want to click that button there. And that'll rebuild the icon cache. And then you should see all of your icons. As you can see, my fuel planner has turned into a hard drive, which is not something I'm particularly proud of, but that's what I gave it. So, okay. Now we're done with the icons, we're done with Rainmeter, and we're done with token, and we're done with essential bar, and we're done with the tutorial. So that's pretty much it. Another cool website I want to show you is Wallbase. Wallbase.com or .cc or .net, it all works, is basically this great site where you can search for amazing wallpapers. For example, this thing. I mean, have you seen anything that good before? I haven't. This is an amazing website, and it'll help you find great wallpapers. So basically just have a browse around this site, or you can search your resolution. For example, mine is 1920 by 1200, and I can see a bunch of wallpapers in that resolution. And all I need to do is right click, save image as, go to desktop, save it again, and right click, set as desktop background, and there I have a beautiful background image. So this has been a tutorial for artificialanimation.com. or for myself. I am Ronald Griffin. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on YouTube, leave a comment. Actually, you know what, really leave a comment, like the video, subscribe if you can, it all helps. And if you have any suggestions for tutorials in the future, you can always suggest them via inbox, forums, or in the comment section below. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.